Hello doll fans and welcome back to Beauty Inside a Box. Today I thought we would talk about Disney dolls throughout the ages. We're going to talk about the different ways the Disney princesses have been represented through dolls throughout the years. We're mostly going to talk about the then, like how they were originally represented, because I think most of us know what the Disney princess dolls look like today, the ones that are sold in the Disney store or in your local shops. I actually already filmed this video, but I wasn't really happy with it, so I'm filming it again. If you like dolls and Disney as much as I do, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. And anyway, let's talk about some Disney dolls. Now, the very first Disney princess, her film came out in 1937, was Snow White. And making merchandise around films was still quite a new idea, and fashion dolls especially weren't really as prolific as they are now. That didn't happen until Barbie, effectively. So strangely enough, most of the representations of Snow White in doll form from around this time, she looks kind of like a baby, because baby dolls were really the only dolls that were on the market at the time. Now, as you can see, we have the doll on the far left, which is made by a company called Knickerbocker, I think. Anyway, I might have got that wrong. And yeah, as you can see, she's kind of like a baby doll. Her hair is just molded plastic, I think. The colors on the dress are very bizarre. I mean, something you'll notice about all the very early Disney dolls is they take a lot of creative liberties. They all look very off-model. Like, some of them you can't even tell which Disney princess they're meant to be. I think the colors of this dress here have maybe faded over time, or maybe they're meant to reflect the colours that were used in the original poster. I wonder if possibly people that got the license to make Disney dolls around this time didn't have as much access to, you know, concept art and early releases of the film, and maybe that's why the dolls don't look very convincing. They also made sets of the Seven Dwarfs, and above, in the top right, you can see another version of Snow White. This one has a kind of soft body, and again, the dress is like completely wrong. It kind of looks like Alice in Wonderland's dress, weirdly enough. Her lack of fingers is kind of putting me off, and her face looks she looks like she's in pain, which isn't very nice. The first time we actually got like fashion doll versions of Snow White was with this doll, made by a company called Baikin in the late 80s. And as you can see, her face is also kind of bizarre. Her nose is like weirdly well defined. It looks very strange. Her hair is a complete mess, but I don't mind the outfit. And this doll is in really good condition considering how old it is. And now the dolls we get today, a far, far cry from the dolls of the 1930s. It's just amazing to think how long Snow White has been in the public consciousness. You know, not many franchises last this long. And even though the quality on this particular Hasbro doll is not amazing, I like the colors used, you know, they're very vibrant, and she's got a very sweet face. Her shoes are kind of cool. Okay, the next Disney princess to be released was Cinderella in 1950, I believe. And these are some of the dolls that came out around that time. Again, for some reason, they are made to look like children. An odd idea. And again, they've taken a lot of creative liberties. I mean, these characters look very off-model. These first two dolls on the left are made by Madame Alexander, which is a famous doll company. I hadn't really heard much about them until recently. I'm not keen on their dolls. They all have this weird, like, childlike baby doll, It's a Small World kind of vibe. Her dress, though, here is really stunning. Really stunning. And these two dolls have been kept in really good condition. Her hair isn't correct. Her crown, they've taken some creative liberties there, because normally she has like a black Alice band. She doesn't have her choker, really. Interesting. And the prince looks completely different. The color scheme is maybe similar, but the cut of the outfit looks more akin to what the prince in Snow White wears. And then we have this second doll here, where you can see there's Cinderella on the box and Snow White and Alice in Wonderland, but the doll looks absolutely nothing like Cinderella at all. She's wearing like a frilly white dress with gold on. It doesn't look anything like her. I feel like they just took one of the dolls they already had in stock and just gave it new packaging to please Disney. It's all over the place. Okay, the next Disney princess, her film was released in 1960, is Sleeping Beauty. And this doll, again, was made by Madame Alexander. This one looks even more off-model. I'm very confused. Interestingly, they've dressed her in blue, which nowadays, they tend to dress Sleeping Beauty in pink. And I think this is because they want to differentiate her a little bit more from Cinderella. But I think originally they used to dress her in blue a lot because they actually wanted to do the opposite. Cinderella had been a big hit for Disney, so they wanted to make Sleeping Beauty look as much like Cinderella as possible. And this doll is kind of evidence of that. For some reason they've given her shorter hair, they've given her a cape. I really like the cape, I kind of wish she wore a cape in the movie. The cut of the dress is completely different to how it is in the film. The crown looks different. I mean, this doll could be any generic princess, really. And again, she looks like a child, which I find kind of weird. Sleeping Beauty was not a big success for Disney, so they didn't make another princess film until 1989 with The Little Mermaid, which was a big success. And Tyco, I think since defunct toy company, made the dolls. And this was the very first doll they made. Wow. Again, strangely, they've made her look a lot younger. Like, she looks like a child. I mean, Ariel is meant to be 16, so she is still very young, but like, she doesn't look, you know, like 12. This doll looks like a 12-year-old to me. And she's about the same height as Skipper as well, which is odd. The face is completely wrong. The hair is completely wrong. She looks kind of sad. I really like the box though. The box, they've actually used some stills from the film, it looks like. I actually have one of the early Tyco dolls, although this is not the original Tyco doll. They actually improved the face sculpt and they improved a lot before they brought out this doll. This is like a slightly later release, and I think I really like this doll. For some reason her tail is really baggy. I don't know why, it looks like she's got a sleeping bag on. But yeah, I think this doll is really cute. I don't know why she's so short though. I have one of the Eric dolls in this line and he's like this much taller than her and it's kind of off-putting. I personally believe the best Ariel dolls are from the 90s, although the ones that they make at the Disney store today are really beautiful as well. I think the Disney store does a really great job with its Disney princess dolls. Okay, the next Disney princess was beautiful Belle. This film came out in 1991. And this was around the time that the makers of Barbie, Mattel, finally had the rights to make Disney dolls, and honestly, such a classic era for Disney dolls, in my opinion. Although I will have to say, the very first ones they made, I think they tried to make the Disney princesses look a lot more like Barbie. I don't remember Belle ever being this tanned, but I guess they wanted to make her look a bit more like Malibu Barbie. I love the fact that they made her dress gold. They don't often do this with dolls of Belle, but I think her dress is meant to be gold. Obviously it looks yellow in the animated film, and quite often doll lines will put her in a yellow dress, but I don't think the dress is meant to be yellow. I think it's meant to be gold. I really like this doll, I think she's stunning. I wish there was a little bit more volume to the bottom of her dress. I love the fact that in the 90s they used to add all these little like sparkles to the dress and to the material. I love that. The hair quality isn't amazing, it's very soft. I also love how in the 90s they would add little sparkles to their eyes. Very cute. Next, in 1992, the year I was born, we have a Jasmine doll from the film Aladdin. And again, stunning doll. Absolutely love it. I'm not sure if the Barbie body sculpt works very well for Jasmine. She's a bit more petite, but it's still a beautiful doll. And I love the box. The box is like so vibrant and, you know, really depicts the themes and the colours of the film very well. And here she is in all her glory. I love how soft this doll's hair is. Wow. She's just like absolutely stunning. I really love this doll, and she came with a change of clothes. Unfortunately her earrings are non-removable, but she's just really cute. Okay, next in 1995 we have Pocahontas, and I again love this doll. This was honestly one of my favourite dolls when I was a kid. I've had countless versions of her. And also I think this is the best depiction of Pocahontas in doll form ever. I think the slightly more buxom body sculpt for Barbie works really well for Pocahontas because she's quite statuesque, unlike the other Disney princesses. I think the animation in Pocahontas is slightly more realistic. They have smaller heads and smaller eyes, and that's represented really well in this doll. She had a color change outfit. Again, the box is stunning. I love that they added in some extra embellishment with the gold fringe. Here she is. Can we just take a moment? Can we just take a moment? I love this doll so much. And the hair. I have never seen a Pocahontas doll since to have such perfect Pocahontas hair. And it's super long and just... This doll is everything. This doll is everything. This doll is my childhood. Pocahontas dolls today, they vary. I don't hate the Hasbro one. The colours are really nice. They've darkened her skin a little bit, which is good because the earlier versions had really pale skin, which seemed quite problematic. The hair quality is quite nice. The quality of the rest of the doll, not amazing. Again, I don't understand why her head is so big. It doesn't really translate very well from the cartoon. The Disney Store doll I really like. This is one of the few Disney Store dolls where I don't mind her having flat feet because Pocahontas doesn't wear shoes. I love the extra glitter they've added. For some reason they've made her necklace into a feather. Not how I remember it in the film, but you do you. I wish the hair was longer, but it's still really stunning. This is a beautiful doll. Okay, next up we have Pocahontas, which came out in 1998? I want to say, I think 1998. And again, box, perfect, love the box. I don't know why, I just love these boxes. They're all like, they're not too overly pink and, you know, homogenized. Like all of the Disney Princess line for a very long time was just pink and sparkles. And I like it much more when they play to each Disney princess's strength and reflect them as individuals a little bit more. And I think these boxes really do that for me. They used a posable body for this doll, which I thought was a really good idea because obviously Pocahontas does a... Pocahontas? Mulan does a lot of fighting in this film. I have this doll. She transforms from a warrior to her kind of like average attire. They dressed her in blue and red for some reason. We also had this doll where she is visiting the matchmaker and her hair kind of like grows long and short, sort of, you know. This is a really stunning doll, another one of my absolute favorites when I was a kid. Next up we have Tiana from Princess and the Frog. This film came out in 2008, I believe. I think. I'm not sure. Now this was one of the first princesses where they made two separate dolls. One by Mattel, which would be sold in like general shops, and one by the Disney Store, which would be sold in the Disney Store and in Disney parks. And I have both of these dolls. I couldn't find the Disney Store one for some reason. She's lying around my house somewhere, but she is stunning. Stunning. I think probably the best Tiana doll which has ever been created. There are so many different layers to her dress. In future versions of the Tiana doll, they kind of simplify the dress. And we also have a doll from Mattel. And you can see in this doll the quality in the Mattel dolls slowly starting to disappear. It's still a really nice doll. I think they did a really good job with the face sculpt for Tiana. She used to have a crown, but I don't know where it's gone. I do really like this representation of her dress, although it is very simplified, I would say. Okay, next up we have Rapunzel from Tangled, which came out in 2010, I do believe. Gosh, that film is old. Wow. And again, we had two different versions, a Disney Store version and a Mattel version. Mattel kind of stepped up their game. They kind of stepped up their game for Rapunzel, which is funny. The outfit is much nicer. Mattel probably thought, okay, this is a character with incredibly long hair. She's perfect for a hairplay doll. And that might have been why they stepped up their game a little bit. We also have a doll from the Disney store. I bought her at Disneyland Paris on one of my trips, which was really fun, a great memory. And she has the longest hair I've ever seen on a Disney store Rapunzel doll at 17 inches. I really wish they'd make dolls with hair that long now. I know Hasbro made one really long hair Rapunzel doll, but the quality is not there. I, of course, have both of these dolls, and they are absolutely stunning. I think Rapunzel looks really cute here. The dress is really nicely made. Well done, Mattel. There's been a little bit of like glue seepage out of her head, but the hair quality is really nice as well. And this doll is like over 10 years old, and the hair has stayed really nice. She still has bendable legs, which I love, and for some reason they gave her shoes. As for the Disney Store Rapunzel doll, this is actually not my favorite Rapunzel doll. The outfit is really nicely made. They've obviously given loads of extra detailing. They've even used real ribbon for her kind of corsety moment on the front. She's got her own little paintbrush. The hair has like tinsel in it. Unfortunately, the hair at the ends gets a little bit ratty and gross, and it was always like that. But I think overall this hair is like really stunning. The biggest problem I have with this doll is her face looks a bit weird. I don't know what it is about it. She looks like she's been possessed or something. Okay, next up we have Merida from Brave. The Disney Store doll, I think, beats the Mattel doll massively. It's so movie accurate, amazing. There are loads of little extra details which we don't get in future versions of the Merida doll, like the bow and arrow, and the cape. I love the cape. I love a cape. And then the Mattel version, I think they've tried to make her look a lot more like Barbie again. They've made her a lot more feminine, they've made the colours brighter. For some reason you can decorate her with jewels. That doesn't feel very Merida to me. You know what I mean? She's not really interested in that kind of stuff. Luckily this doll does come with a cape. I love a cape. I don't actually have this doll, but I do have the basic version. And here they are. Like I said before, the Disney Store one is really amazing. I love her red hair. It's gotten a little bit crazy over the years. I love her bow and arrow. And she actually came with some little arrows, but I can't find them anymore. And the cape. The cape is everything. And we have the Mattel doll. I don't think this reflects the kind of spirit of the character whatsoever. You can really see the quality starting to go down on these dolls. There's no more articulation in the knees, which I think is such a shame. And this cool golden bit on the bottom of her dress doesn't follow into the back. That annoys me. Our next Disney princesses in 2014 were from the film Frozen. I'm not a massive fan of this film, but I know a lot of people are. And the dolls. The deficit between the quality in the Disney Store dolls and the Mattel dolls is so apparent here. This was right before Mattel lost the license to make Disney Store dolls, and you can tell they are really slacking. They are slacking. These dolls don't even have like removable fashions. The Disney Store dolls, on the other hand, are really nice, and they also include some details which we don't get in later versions, like Anna has her cape and her gloves and her hat. Here they are in all their glory. I really like these dolls. I think they're really stunning. Like I said before, I love a cape, and for some reason, the capes are always like the first thing to go when they make later versions of these dolls. Elsa's skin looks like more blue than it normally does with this doll, I would say. I really hate the way they've styled her hair, but that's quite movie accurate. Her hair looks kind of like a mullet. I don't know why. And the dress is, you know, very fabulous. And here we have the Mattel dolls. They look insane, don't they? They've got such a dead stare. They look so dead behind the eyes. It's a shame that most of the fashions aren't removable. They have no articulation. These dolls are just pretty trash, in my opinion. Next up we have Moana, and the first Moana doll is absolutely stunning. I have her here. Bling! They've got like this string coming out to be her grass skirt, which I really like. Her necklace is amazing, her hair is amazing. They made her her own body sculpt. I love that. She came with her oar, which is quite cool. And then Hasbro has finally taken the license to make Disney dolls at this point. I actually have this doll, but again, I couldn't find it. The quality's pretty bad. the quality's pretty bad. At least she has articulation, I will say that. But all the kind of details on her outfit are just printed onto the fabric. And then later versions of the Hasbro doll, everything's just painted on, which is trash. We hate that. Okay, I'm gonna fly through the final two because these films only came out like last year. So, you know, the dolls haven't changed that much and they're pretty much in our recent memory. But we have Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon, and the Disney Store doll, again, is immaculate, perfect. They gave her extra articulation in the waist and in a couple other places to kind of emphasize the action element of the film. I love that. The Hasbro doll is trash. It's trash. It's funny because Mattel's quality like went down slowly over the course of about 20 years, whereas the Hasbro quality dipped in the space of about 5 years. So not great, Hasbro. I don't have the Hasbro version of Raya, but I do have the Disney Store version, and I really like this doll. I love the materials they've used. The textures feel very close to what we see in the film. She has extra articulation in the knees and articulation in the waist. I wish all Disney princesses had that, to be honest. Last but not least, we have Mirabelle from Encanto, and I actually did an unboxing of this doll like not even that long ago, so you can check that out. I think this doll is really nice. She's really cute and she sings, which is cool. And the doll that was made for general shops was made by Jakks Pacific, which is unusual, and I think kind of gave everyone a bit of a clue that Hasbro were about to lose the doll license. But I think the dolls made by Jakks Pacific were actually really good. So they weren't amazing, but they were better quality than the Hasbro ones, so there you go. So there we have it, doll fans. That is an overview of how Disney have represented their princesses in doll form throughout the years. Let me know what you thought of these dolls. Let me know what your favorite era is. My favorite era is definitely the 90s with the Mattel dolls. They were stunning. I love them. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new here and like this video if you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to check me out on Instagram if you want to see more of my doll collection and check out more of my videos. Go, have fun. And I'll see you real soon, doll fans. Bye!